There is speaking. Certainly there is speaking. Now the speaking is, what is speaking? There is an organ of speech, and so it is speaking. Like a mic. What is the difference between a mic and an organ of speech? One and the same. In fact, they resemble also in a physical way. This organ of speech resembles a small size mic, right? Does it not resemble? So there is the organ of speech which speaks. And then there must be a mind behind to make the speech possible, right? Like in a tape recorder, the mic gives sounds, but there must be a magnetic tape which gives those sounds, which puts those sounds into the mic. Similarly here, in the place of the magnetic tape, you have a mind, a conditioned mind. There cannot be a mind which is not conditioned. Mind means conditioned. So there is a conditioned mind, a mind that is filled with all kinds of ideas, which is sitting there, and it is providing the material for the organ of speech, and from which the speech is emanating, and you are listening to it. Now, in that mind, that thinking, mind thinks, and speech speaks. Yan manasa manute tad vacha vadati. Mind speaks, mind thinks, and the speech speaks. Now, the point is, you are all students of, you are claimed to be students of Vedanta. I am not sure about that claim. So, you are, when I say you, not the nice people sitting here, that is the style of speaking. People are very presumptuous. Very presumptuous. Some people say, "Yes, Swami, I studied Vedanta for 20 years with the Mahatma." He did not study Vedanta with the Mahatma for 20 years. He went around this Mahatma for 20 years. That is what it is. He was breathing the same air which Mahatma was breathing for 20 years. That is not studying Vedanta. Therefore, learning is altogether a different thing. Just picking up a few ideas here and there from this book or that book and storing those ideas in the brain cells is not learning. So, having given that preamble, now I come to the point. Did you ever think whether you are the body-mind or you are something more than the body-mind? Now, this is Vedanta. This is Vedanta. And you don't ask this question any time. And if a poor Swami like me comes and asks, "You have not studied Vedanta," you become unhappy. Did you ask this question any time? Am I the body-mind? Or, you see, as we sit here, there is a physical dimension in you, the physical body and a few other organs, etc. It's a dimension. And then there is a psychological dimension, the mind, which is, mind is like a bag full of ideas, thoughts, notions, emotions, and beliefs, prejudices, superstitions, etc., etc. That is the mind. And that is the psychological dimension. Okay? But then there is in you a deeper dimension, a dimension deeper than the physical and psychological. And I give a name to it. It is called the spirit, the spiritual dimension. Somebody told me, why do you say spirit? I say whatever I say. I am trying to convey a point. Don't contest me on the language. Okay? That is how it is used. There is a spiritual dimension in you. Suppose you do not pay attention to that spiritual dimension, then what are you doing here? Just because the auditorium is very beautiful, that's why you are sitting here. Is that the reason why you sit here? Our Ramachandran ji gives some nice food, that's why you are sitting here. Did you ever ask this question to yourself? Why do you listen to the Vedanta classes? Why do you listen? If you ask me, why do you speak? I have a reason for it. I speak because I get some good bhiksha and dakshina. That's why I speak. Why do you listen? आपका बात आप देखो. Why are you listening to the speaker? Why are you listening? You should ask this question. Without asking the basic question, whole life chala gaya. That has no value. If you must be listening to this Vedanta, to these classes, to commune with that spiritual dimension, to enable yourself to rise above the physical and psychological. You have to enable, because the physical and psychological holds you back. It holds you back. When you are devoted to the physical body, you are a physical entity now, nothing more. And all the Vedanta goes above the head. And if you are an emotional person and attached to your emotions, your prejudices, your ideas, then you are stuck or you are caught in the psychological dimension. There is no Vedanta in all that. You must have all the right words sitting in your head, but the word is not the thing. You should know that. People who claim that they study Vedanta should understand a few things, some basics. The word is not the thing. Then the symbol, the image, is not the thing. And you are fed. Please don't mind. Can I be free with you? Or you want to tie my legs and ask me to run? So, you are fed on words and ideas. That is your staple. Atma. And Atma is Satchidananda. You are a bag of bones. But Atma is Satchidananda. And you are repeating it whole life. Generation after generation. It serves no purpose. You are here to deal with these physical and psychological dimensions and rise above the two and arrive at your true home, which is the spirit. As you sit here, there is a light in you. There is a light. Light is a metaphor. Like this light. This light enables you to see all the objects clearly. That is called viveka. Like this is clock, this is mic, this is paper, these are sentences, these are words, these are syllables. Everything I can see clearly, distinct from one another in this light. That is the light. That is the beauty of light. Generally, we ignore the light. We are busy with our physical things. Oh, this is spacious, these are chairs, this is this. This is a big stage, and that person is dressed quite well. and she is wearing a beautiful sari, he is wearing a nice suit. So we are caught in all these things, always ignoring or failing to see or recognize the light in which you see all these things. Am I right? Similarly, that is an illustration. There is a light in you, the light. That light enables the eyes to see the forms, the ears to know the sounds. That light enables the mind to think, the intellect to intellect. Intellect is the verb, it's a process. The intellect to function as an intellection. So that is the light in you. That light, there is a light in you. Please be informed. Please take this home tonight and you dwell upon that, you sleep over that. Namely, there is a light in you. That light of awareness. Light is a metaphor. Because of that inner light, you are able to see this outer light and the entire world in that outer light. Because of that inner light, you are able to see that light. That light is called as Shrotrasya Shrotram. These words you have heard. Manaso Manaha, Chakshushas Chakshuhu, Pranasya Pranaha, Vachoha. Vacham it said, but Vachoha Vak. That light is in you. Now, we come back to the original point, and there is an action of speaking. Mind is thinking and organ of speech is speaking. Both are in tandem. They are doing a job. A job is going on. Action is going on. But that light is not acting. It never acts. It always shines. Like this light above, is it acting? It is not acting. It is just illuminating. It is not acting. I am acting. The light is not illuminating. Suppose some fan is rotating. The light is not rotating. The fan is rotating and the light is illuminating. Suppose 10 people dance here. They are dancing. Light is not dancing. It is just illuminating. It doesn't act. You should come out of this confusion between doing and being. The light be. The light is. It doesn't act. In spite of so much activity going on the stage, the light shines. And in the presence of the light, everything comes to light. The light doesn't act. Therefore, there is action on the stage, but light itself is the very essence of actionlessness. There is no action in that light. This is the example. Coming back to the Darshtantika, the point under discussion, here is the organ of speech and the mind, which are in tandem. Therefore, a speech is going on. A question is put before the Swami, the speaker, and the speaker is speaking, responding to the question. Therefore, all this activity is going on, whereas I am not speaking. Therefore, please don't mind when I use I. You did not mind when I said you, right? You did not mind. Now you don't mind when I say I. I am not speaking. There is speech going on. I am not speaking. Therefore, I never ever claim that I am a guru. In fact, I say I am not a guru. Because guru means I take upon myself the authorship of a set of actions. I don't do any such thing. I don't do anything. Things happen. Why this speech is happening? because a question is put before. That's why this speech is happening. I don't act. That's why when the seminar is over, when the session is over, the speaker walks away without carrying the the vasana of doership. The speaker will not claim or does not claim that I have taken a class. That residue, what is the residue? I have taken one class. This is the 376th class. Means there is residue of 375 classes and one more added. This is the 21st year I am teaching. This residue, it makes you the doer, it is not there. Therefore, there is no 376th class. It just doesn't add up because there is no sense of doership. The speaker walks away like a free air. The air comes and goes. The way it comes, the way it goes. This is called actionlessness in action. Karmanya karma yaf pashyet. It's a big thing. I have tried to explain it in a short time. You have to study further. You have to examine further. Study is examination. Study is not collecting some terminology and some ideas in the brain cells. That is not study. Study is examination. There is a thing called learning. People do not learn. They do not learn. I ask you, do you have fear in you? Yeah, then you have not learned. Do you have sorrow in you? Yes, you have not learned. Do you mind my saying that? You have yet to learn. If you learn, you should be free from fear, because knowledge, or to put it even better, the learning makes you free. But if you are not free, if you are still enmeshed by fear, by desires, by all these worldly things, then you have not learned anything. No, I studied Vedanta for 20 years. You have studied Vedanta for 20 years, God bless you. You did not learn anything. They are two different things. Am I very harsh on the very first day or what? I may be excused for that. Just I am trying to speak in a very open and innocent way. What are the basic sadhanas one has to follow to be a karma yogi? You see, are you ready? I will answer the question, but are you ready to receive the answer? Because people are highly conditioned. It is very difficult to teach conditioned minds. It is about the mind I am saying. I am not saying about any particular person. Conditioned minds, very difficult to teach. You see, you want to follow sadhanas to become a karma yogi. There are not many sadhanas. Here in Vedanta, sadhana is not like the sadhana elsewhere. Like in rituals, karma or upasana, sadhana has a different format. In ritual, you have to act in a particular way. Like you have to offer oblations in the fire, etc. In upasana, you have to take a mala and go on repeating the mantra a few 100 or 1,000 times, etc. There is some sadhana like that. Whereas here in Vedanta, you should not carry that baggage of sadhana idea in here. Here you must have heard the sadhana chatushtayam. Okay? You see, sometimes I look at myself, I feel as if I am playing the role of a headmaster. So this is how I am. Please bear with me. So I suggest that people have to understand the basics, because the first things first, that is what they should understand. Without paying attention to the basics, you go to the high principles of everything, sarvam kalvidam brahma, atma cha brahma, etc. They sound very lofty and they sound very high sounding expressions, but they do not convey any, they are not convincing. They do not convince anybody. And are they coming out of a heart which is steeped in that vision? Even that is a question mark. Therefore, we are not talking of all those lofty things. We are now talking of very basic things. You see, there is action, karma, and then there is a result. It is all a movement in the mind. We are not talking of the physical action. Physical action follows. Yan manasa manute tad vacha vadati tat karmana karoti. You must have heard that. So you think, then you speak, and then you do. So I am examining this action at the level of thinking, because all action originates in thought. Please pay attention to some of these very basic things. I am not saying big things. So very basic action, whatever be the action, it could be a great ritual or it could be a criminal act, whatever be the action, it originates from thought. It is said the Second World War has originated from the thought of Adolf Hitler. From the thought it originated. The man landed on the moon, and that action has originated from a thought. Thought is the origin of action. So thought is a movement. Thought is not something sitting there. It's a movement. So I am examining that movement. So please, together with me, you examine the movement of thought. You see, you tell me to examine the movement of thought. Who is who is the most qualified to examine the movement of thought? You. Right? Or I will examine the movement of thought. How can I examine the movement of thought? You alone can examine the movement of thought. Right? Are you sure? Therefore, for a change, be a guru for yourself. Be a guru for yourself. You see, Bhagavan Buddha, he was about to leave the mortal frame, and he called his devotee, who is by his side, called Ananda. Hey Ananda, now I am about to give up. Please take one final message to the Sangha. There are 1,000 Sishyas or students, bhikkhus, sitting in different places and waiting for the news. So you tell the Sangha this message, last message. What is that? You be a light unto yourself. That is the last message. He did not say, I am the Guru, you carry my name forward or some such thing. He did not say that. Buddha, you know. Buddha is Buddha. Buddha means the enlightened, the master. So, therefore, you examine, you be the Buddha, you enlighten yourself. Only you can do that. And you examine the movement of your thought in the context of action. Therefore, action, which it originates in the thought, and in that thought there is action. And then there is what is called a desire for the result. Right? Now, both are there, right? For example, I am performing an action, I came here, I am sitting here and taking satsanga. This is an action that is there in the thought. Now I am examining my thought, the thought movement. So today evening at 7:30, I am taking satsanga. So it's okay, action. Then the desire for the result. Is there the desire for the result? I am examining. Okay? I am examining. I am demonstrating to you. Then I find, yes, there is the desire for result. What is the result? People will be impressed. Then they will say, Swami TV, this. And then they will give dakshina also. And I will get some name and fame. They all will become my sishyas. Result, result. What else could be the result for taking a class? Or there may be even subtler result. I will impress them. That is also result. I examine my thought. This result, the desire for one or the other result, the desire for one or more results. Is there this desire in this thought? Is it there? Is it there? Yeah, it is there. Then there is no karma yoga. The karma is great. Karma is Vedanta teaching, is very precious. Tradition. I am following the tradition. I am taking the tradition forward. Look at that. But it is not karma yoga. Because there is the desire for the result. Now, I am demonstrating one more time. I am examining. Chalo, satsanga time. Let us take the satsanga. Now, what do I get out of this taking this satsanga? Where from this question has come? This question doesn't arise at all. Now, for the purpose of demonstration, I brought in the question. But the question doesn't exist in this head. There is only satsanga to be taken. The desire for the outcome of it, that desire doesn't exist. That is called karma yoga. Therefore, perform the action. Karmanyevadhikaraste adhikaras sambandha. Don't give some silly meaning to adhikara. This meaning you take sambandha, adhikaraha, sambandha. This is Mimamsa, So, connectedness. Be connected to the act, to the action. Be connected to the action. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Never ever be connected to the result thereof. Okay? Therefore, there is the action and the desire for the result is not there. Therefore, now there are two kinds of actions. Two kinds of actions mean two kinds of movement. In one movement, there is action at the thought level. Later it becomes expressed at the physical level. I am looking at the thought level. This is Vedanta. We are examining the thought only, nothing else. What you do physically is not the point. The thought. So action, there is action, and then there is the result of the action, and I desire that result. It is called will. I will. Willing is desiring, the will. So by desiring the result, the will comes into play. And along with the will, there is this element called ego. The me comes into play. That is one movement. It's a single movement. What is the single movement? Action, the result, the desire for the result, and the me, the doer. That is a unitary process. It is all one process. You followed it? It is all one process. This is how people act. And this is how they get bound. Okay? Now, there is another movement. Another movement is action. The desire for the result is not paid attention to. So what result will be? No attention to that result, no desire for the result. Therefore there is no will, and therefore there is no me. There is no me. Action is there. This is another movement. Now I have presented before you two movements. In one movement, I am just repeating action, result, the will or the desire for the result, and the me. That is all unitary. You cannot separate them. It is a unitary process. That is how we function in this world. But there comes a Mahatma whose mind has, the thought has action in it, and therefore it will be expressed eventually. There is action, but there is no result. There is no desire for the result. There is no will. There is no egoity. The me is absent. That is Karma Yoga. You followed? Ma phaleshu kadachana. Then sometimes I hear a silly question. The question is silly because when a lofty philosophical principle is being presented, when people are unable to understand it, or they don't want to understand it, or they are conditioned in such a way that they cannot understand it, they raise a question. The question is, without result, how can we perform action? You have a right to ask a question. I don't deny that. When genuinely you want to know, you can ask the question. But shall I tell you one thing? This question has virtually taken Karma Yoga out of the context. Because in Karma Yoga, the cardinal principle is Ma phaleshu kadachana. That is Chatussutri. Karmanyevadhikaraste, first sutra. Ma phaleshu kadachana, second sutra. This is the second sutra, Chatussutri, two more sutras. And you have virtually knocked off the second sutra by raising this question. Therefore, I will only appeal. Don't be so selfish, sir. When every time you act, you are not selfish. You look at your own experience. There are many occasions in your own life. You do it almost on a daily basis, consciously or unconsciously. You act without the result, without the desire for the result thereof. The mother feeds the children without the result, without the desire for the result. Even father occasionally performs a few things without the desire for the result. Mother does it very routinely. That is Karma Yoga. So, suppose you ask the mother, so what result you are desiring while preparing food and serving to all these people? She will be stunned. Arre, I never asked this question. She was innocent enough not to ask this question at all. People have become very worldly by asking this question. So you have to regain your innocency and learn to act without ever seeking the result thereof. That is Karma Yoga. Briefly, okay? Shall I give some recommendations, bibliographical recommendations? There is a book called The Vision of Karma Yoga by a Swami. Get hold of that book and read it. Multiple questions. How to reduce kartrutva bhava in life. This, just now we have discussed this. Wanted to follow Naham Karta, Harih Karta in life, but unable to do it. Already you have failed yourself. It is like you write an exam and the answer paper is given back to you and asked, you evaluate your own answer paper, and you evaluate it and say, failed. So you are doing that. You should not do that. Why unable to do it? You can do it. You came here, you wanted to come here, you came here. You can do it. And it is not about doing. It is about seeing. You must be able to see. I have explained to you, there are 3 dimensions in you: physical, psychological, and the spiritual. The spiritual, the light in you. Now, are you not able to see that? Suppose you see that. Here is the physical and the psychological. They are together. They are together. For the sake of explanation, I made them into 2. Deha, Manaha. But sometimes they are put together and called single, Kshetra. Kshetra. Kshetra is Mahabhutanyahankaraha, Buddhiravyaktamevacha. So, body-mind, it is one. So you can say body and mind, 2 dimensions, or you can merge them, body-mind. So here is the body-mind, and here you are. You have to pay attention to that. That is what is called learning. You have to pay attention to the fact of yourself being the one who knows the body-mind. You are not the body-mind. You are the one who knows the body-mind. There is the light in you, the light of knowingness, in which light the body-mind comes to light. You are that light. And so, pay attention to that awareness. This is the great job of awareness. Be aware of the body in action. Be aware of the body in action. Be aware. There is a thing called walking meditation. I will demonstrate it to you. You be seated. Just I am demonstrating it to you. So, walking meditation, I keep the eyes open. Don't walk by closing the eyes and all that, because you will hurt yourself. So, I keep the eyes open, and then I start walking. While walking, I don't have a goal to reach. You got the point? Ma phaleshu kadachana. Because people always walk to reach a goal. But here, you have to rejig the consciousness. So, the way of thinking. So, now I walk without a goal to walk, reach. Like, I will walk to the wall. That is the goal. Now, I don't put a goal in mind. It's all organizing the thought process. Just walking, no goal. And while walking, I'm aware of the entire movement. You walk slowly, because initially, that it's a great job of awareness. Initially, the awareness will be disturbed. It will not be focused properly if you walk quick. So walk slowly. Don't chant or any such thing. If you want to do some chant, you do it separately. Don't combine with this. Hare Rama, not like that. Hare Rama is good, but do it separately. Then you turn. Be aware of the entire turning movement, and then walk. Be aware of the entire movement as much as you can. Practice it. You practice this, you will realize soon that walking is going on and you are the witness. That is what the question is. You are not the walker. There is walking. You are not the walker. That is the question. So don't say, I am trying for the 20 years and I am unable to do it. Something like that is being said here. That's why I am saying. It is not about 20 years or 10 years, and it is not about being able to do it or not being able to do it. It is about the focus of attention now and here. You practice this walking meditation, eventually you will grow into that consciousness. There is a transformation within. People, I say a few things out of sadness. People believe that they are studying Vedanta. What Vedanta you are studying? Go and tell somebody there. You don't impress me. You are not studying. Is there, how much transformation is there in your consciousness? Do you see any transformation in your consciousness? If the answer is yes, then you are studying Vedanta. There is no transformation in your consciousness, suppose. You are still the same bundle of emotions, fears, superstitions. Superstitions is an anathema for Vedanta. How can you entertain superstitions while being students of Vedanta? Amazing. So your consciousness remained the same. It did not, you see, the first class I am like a old-fashioned headmaster. Please excuse me. I am speaking this way. You know what is this? What is the thing that impels this kind of speaking? You know what it is? Love. Because I have so much passion to see that every one of you should know it. That is the passion. And out of that, I speak this way. Please understand. Don't misunderstand it. If you misunderstand, what will happen? Nothing will happen. You have to go and sit on the tree. That is all going, nothing else is going to happen. I will go my way. I am a drifter. So I drifted here, and I will drift elsewhere till the body lasts. Therefore, you have to see it. So, if you remain the same bundle of emotions and superstitions and beliefs, etc., without any change without any transformation in the consciousness, what kind of Vedanta are you studying? Therefore, that change, that transformation in the consciousness has to come. That is what is called study. Therefore, you have to come out of this notion of kartrutvam. If any of you are going to attend some of these classes that will come in Saddarshanam, that I am going to teach, there is one full verse on this topic. I will further come to that. Therefore, you should be able to see it. It is not about, I wanted to follow Naham Karta, Hari Karta in life, but unable to do it. It is, you did not, because you think it is some dumbbell kind of activity, that you have to do it, you are unable to do it. It is not like that. There is no activity involved in it. It is not like some 10 kg weight you put there, I cannot lift it. It is not like that. It is your ability, you have to see it. अब तो देखना पड़ता है. बस इतना ही बात. You have to see it. And if you are willing to see it, you can see it. Seeing. Seeing means knowing. I say seeing. Knowing as good as seeing. That is the idea of seeing. Not seeing with these eyes. Knowing as good as seeing. Therefore, when you see clearly that actions happen, you don't act. They happen. You see, people don't even know what is bhakti. They think performing a few rituals is bhakti. They think like that. Rituals is not bhakti. There may be some bhakti in your heart while you are performing a ritual. That is a saving grace. By chanting a few things, chanting is not bhakti. What is bhakti? Let us say this evening. So let me tell you what is bhakti. You see, you recognize, you see it as daylight, as in daylight. You recognize that there is a prime mover. You know, you got it? Prime mover. Don't give names to it. The reality, which is essentially nameless, if you start giving names, you get conditioned, because a name comes with a conditioning. So, if you are free from conditioning, you can still give name. You can call that prime mover Rama, for example. For example. Some people call it Shiva, the prime mover. I caution you one thing. The moment I said Rama or Shiva, you please don't run in your mind to a gentleman called Rama and another gentleman called Shiva married to a lady and all that. Please don't do that. This is Vedanta class, appa. This is not some Puranic story. If you want Puranas, you make a scamp like that, I will teach you Puranas. I have done that job also. Therefore, I may say that prime mover is Rama. Hey Swami, what are you doing? Yeah, Rama's blessing. I took a flight and came to New York. Rama's blessing. Went for a COVID test. Rama's blessing. The test came negative. Suppose test comes positive. Rama's blessing. And taking medicines. Rama's blessing. Rama's blessing. Some satsang is going on. The prime mover. That is the prime mover. The eyes see because of the prime mover. The earth goes round the sun because of the prime mover. The eyes see, ears hear, mind meditates because of the prime mover. The heart beats, the respiration happens, food is digested, all inside and outside. The stars are born, old stars are dying. The planets are going round the sun because of the prime mover. Prime mover moves everything. You move nothing. What kind of kartrutva are you talking about? This is bhakti. इसको बोलते हैं bhakti. This is bhakti. We have made a caricature of bhakti by performing meaningless, mechanical, repetitive rituals and mumbling, meaning not knowing anything, some prayers, and giving it the title bhakti. You have made a caricature of the bhakti. This recognition that the prime mover is moving all within as well as without. Everything happens by the will of that prime mover. And there is not an iota of doubt about it. That is bhakti. And where is your kartrutvam in it? This bhakti, you won't get it after 1 year or after a Vedanta course of 5 years or 2 years. You won't get it. You get it now and here. Either you get it now and here or you don't get it. I'll tell you a secret. Knowledge or learning, even better. Learning is always in the present moment, never in the future. Did you learn binomial theorem? You must have. Did you learn it in the present moment or did you learn it later? You must have learned it in the present moment. Learning can never ever happen in the future. Therefore, you learn it now and here, the prime mover. Don't blame anything or anybody, COVID, this and that. Don't get worked up on all that. It is the prime mover. And relax. When you learn that the prime mover is moving everything and you don't move anything, it is like you are traveling in a train. We enter into the train and relax. You don't struggle to push the train or whatever. The prime mover is moving. The natural thing happens naturally. Relax. You should know how to relax. People don't know how to relax because they don't know what is bhakti. They made some kind of a funny pseudonym of bhakti, and they do a few things. They think that ceremonies and celebrations are bhakti. Ceremonies and celebrations are not bhakti. So you have to understand, once you know what is bhakti, then the question of kartrutvam doesn't even arise. There is no, it comes and you have to push it away. No, it doesn't even arise. That is the bhakti. That burning passion of understanding that everything moves by the prime mover, by the agency of the prime mover. Nothing, we do nothing. When you understand that, that is a matter to see like daylight. When you see that, you have arrived. That is moksha. That is jnanam. That is bhakti. Therefore, the idea of harih karta, naham karta, it is not a matter of a slogan, a nara nahi hai. It is something which you have to understand and feel deeply within your heart. In which case, the idea of kartrutvam doesn't even arise. How to live a life not swayed by criticisms and praises? You ask tremendously powerful questions and expect me to answer them in 1 hour. It is not going to happen. I will answer this question and conclude. A very beautiful question. How to live a life not swayed by criticisms and praises? I suddenly remembered, a cup of water would have been nice, but not now. Not now, in the next class. So, I suddenly remembered as an answer to this question, Mister, dear friend, not now. I will go to the room and drink. Come. Don't miss this story. Come. I will go to the room and drink. Not a problem. So, I suddenly remembered an anecdote of a Zen master. You see, don't ask me, you tell us Vedanta tradition, don't talk about Buddha, don't talk about Zen, don't put these conditions upon me. Because for me, Vedanta is universal. We should stop using single-use plastic. Anyway, chalo, you gave water and I am complaining to you. Our beloved Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji told not to use single-use plastic. And from then onwards, I am not using single-use plastic. I am a devotee of our Karma Yogi Prime Minister. Anyway, God bless. So, the Zen master. For me, Vedanta includes all glorious teachings of all religions. The mystics of Christianity, the mystics of Sufism, the Buddhism. I love Buddhism. And I teach Dhammapada in Hyderabad. So on a regular basis, I was doing The last class of Dhammapada I have done and came to the airport. Anyway, so the Zen master. So, a couple were coming to the Zen master regularly. I got it, Appa. I got it. Okay. Please come. You are so kind. Yeah. Please come. No, yeah. So I will take this cup to my room, and I will take this bottle also my room, and I will use this cup for tomorrow morning coffee. So, a couple, a family, wife and husband, and a young daughter, in 20s I suppose, they were visiting the Zen master. They were devoted to him. The Zen master is an old man, kind of 50s or 60s, whatever. Anyway, so they were visiting and learning a few things here and there. The entire family was coming occasionally. The young lady was also coming. Mostly the couple comes. Anyway, to make a long story short, the couple found that their daughter was pregnant. Now, she is not married. The society is very conventional society, Japanese society, Then the story happened in Japan. And so, the girl getting pregnant before marriage is unthinkable. And this couple, they are living in a community. They cannot show their face to the community people anymore. They were thunderstruck. And the girl was crying bitterly. Mother tried to find out who is that man. She did not answer. The girl did not answer for whatever reason. She was afraid of her father, whatever. And father gave a slap also. And she was frightened and she did not answer the question. She was just crying and crying and crying. Then, from circumstantial evidence, the father mostly, and the mother also nodded her head. They concluded that the Zen master was the culprit. And therefore, the father, hot blood, he was facing a calamity in his life. He rushed to the Zen master, who was supposed to be the teacher, and now he goes to the teacher. He is not a teacher anymore. He is a villain. And so he goes to the Zen master. Short of beating him, he said every single epithet or vituperative blame he could put on the master. He said everything. You are a crooked, you are ruined my daughter's life, you are a villain, you should be killed, this, that. The master listened to all of that with a imperceptible smile. Do you know Buddha? Buddha's face. There is a smile, very small. You have to cautiously notice it. Smile. That is how the Zen master listened to what all this man was. A rant went on for 10 minutes. And then his energy was over. He walked away. What else he can do? Poor father, he walked away. He gave vent to his frustration and used the Zen master as the target, and he went away. Then the wife and husband, they thought about the whole thing. They left the town or the village and went to a remote place. And in those days, went to a remote village and took a house for rent. They stayed there, and the girl gave birth to a young boy child. You know what the father did? Immediately he snatched the boy child from the mother, that is his daughter, and brought the child quickly by a car or an automobile and put it in the lap of the Zen master. Zen master was reading a book, and then he came rushing and put the child in the lap of the Zen master. And before the Zen master could understand what is going on, the father left. Now the Zen master, what he has to do? He started taking care of the child. He cannot throw away the child. And then he took help from some of these ladies who visit his place, bring food, bhiksha, etc. Took their help and got some milk and all that and started bringing up the child. So the child was growing. Within 6 months, the young man who was the lover of that young lady, who went on an army expedition to outside the country, he was sent to Philippines by the Japanese army on an expedition kind of thing. And so he returned. And he was searching for his beloved because he loves her. And then, anyway, to make a long story short, he finds them and tells, I am the father of the child and she is my beloved. And now I am marrying her. Before, at that time, I could not marry her because I had to rush on an army job. You cannot disobey the orders in army. Therefore, that is how it happened. There was no proper communication even because they went into some jungles and all that. So he came back and he married the young lady. And now the couple, the young lady got back her beloved. They got married. The parents were very happy. Then what about the child? The child is with the Zen master. This young couple came to the Zen master. The father could not show his face to the Zen master anymore. Therefore, the young couple came to the Zen master. And the Zen master, the child is sitting in the Zen master's lap. Because the Zen master developed a skill to rear the child already. And immediately, the mother, she gave birth and stayed with the child for an hour or a day maybe, and did not see the child further. Now she sees the child. She snatches the child and hugs to her bosom, and then she is busy with the grown-up child, 6-month-old child. And the young man did namaskar to the Zen master. They took his blessings and walked away. The Zen master was just smiling. He did not say anything. This is how Mahatmas function. When you praise them or when you scandalize them or spread canards about them, in all situations, Mahatmas remain silent, quiet, and blessing. Where is the secret? You have to learn this art. This is an art. Art of life it is. You see, the question is criticism, how one should not be swayed by criticism. That is the question. Therefore, you have to ask the question. I am asking the question. Who is it that is hurt by the misbehavior of the other person? This is a philosophical question. Okay? Please examine it. Don't say I. Somebody said something wrong against me, suppose. Something wrong, untruth against me. Now, I am hurt. Okay, are you following? I am hurt. Then, I look within me, in my consciousness. You have to learn to look within. People don't know to look within. They are always looking without only. They are bahirmukhas. This is my topic in Kathopanishad, the very first class. If you care to come to Kathopanishad class, Paranchi Khani Yatrunat Swayambhu. So people are outgoing, always looking out. They don't even know how to look within. So here I am asking you to look within. I look within and ask the question. This person is talking so much untruth, so much abusive canard against me, and am I hurt? Yes, I am hurt. If so, who is it that is hurt? In this consciousness, who gets hurt? The body doesn't get hurt. Deho na janati. Body doesn't get hurt. The sense organs do not get hurt. The mind is a flow of thoughts. Now, you cannot say flow gets hurt. Flow is a phenomenal thing. What is it that gets hurt? You know what is it that gets hurt? The me, you know me, M-E, me, that is what gets hurt. Now, what is this me? This is an inner examination, an inner training, an inner investigation, which every one of us has to undertake. You see, you people means not the half a dozen, 2 dozen people sitting here. Generally, what people do, they say one gentleman is guru, and they take the physical entity as the guru, and assume that they are having guru and they are studying this and that. It is all misplaced enthusiasm. Please don't mind. You have to be a guru unto yourself. You tell me, that becomes a different topic. Okay, coming back to the original thing. So now I don't want to digress, time is over. So I look within me, I am hurt. Because the other person is talking nonsense, I am hurt. Yes, I am hurt. There is hurt. There is hurt. Who is that is hurt? Who is hurt? Who is hurt? The me. What is me? What is the me? Me, another name is ego. You please understand, take it as a message for tonight. Ego is but a thought. That's why ego is intermittent also. You don't have ego all the time. Occasionally it pops up. It's a head. When the other person says idiot, suppose somebody tells me idiot, the ego pops up. Oh, I am not an idiot, I am a doctorate. That is the ego. And if the other person doesn't say idiot, the ego also doesn't pop up. Like I am sitting in a flight, and this young lady came. So what do you want to drink? So I said, you give me a cup of a cappuccino. I don't have cappuccino. Like that, she was so angry with me that I asked her cappuccino. I said, okay, take easy. Take easy. What do you have? I have a hot cup of water. Please give that. So now I could have been hurt also, I could be hurt also. Suppose I am hurt. So that means the ego, which was lying dormant, the moment she answered in such a making faces and all that, it comes up. That is what is getting hurt. The me, the ego, which is but a thought, a fleeting thought, that is getting hurt. And I examine it. It vanishes. It will not be there. So you may ask a question, yes, Swami, is it possible to live a life, a normal life, without the me? Is it possible to live a normal life without the me? It's a big topic, but let me make it short. The answer is yes. When you are happy, there is no me. When you are sleeping, there is no me. When you are dreaming, there is a different me. Even in the waking state, the me is not a constant thing, it's a fleeting thing. Me is a phantom. It's a chimera. It is not real. And you notice that, and you ask the question, who is it that is getting hurt? You ask that question. Then you will notice that there is no hurt in you. There is no hurt in you. Did you notice the way I answered? You asked the question, how should not I get hurt? I could give you a moral lecture. You should not get hurt. You should follow lofty principles, this, that, some religious principles, this. I did not answer that way. I answered it in a philosophical way, in a way of examining one's own consciousness, and it is very much possible to live a life, a comfortable, happy, serene, peaceful life without the me. It is possible. You have to grow there, grow into that transformation you should get into without the me. When there is no me, there is no hurt. You come across a person who has no me and you try to hurt that person, you will not be able to hurt. You will be hurting yourself only. In trying to hurt the Mahatma, you hurt yourself. You cannot hurt the Mahatma because Mahatma Nayam Hanti Nahanyate. He is not getting hurt. You reach there. You become that Mahatma. You be that Mahatma. You target it, not target it. You take a vow to lead a life without me. Without me. You try this in one relationship. You try this in a few occasions. The me, it tries to pop up. It tries to raise its ugly head. Immediately you become alert and watch the me. The hurt will disappear. In fact, if you are getting hurt, it is your ignorance. It is your inability to understand that you are vulnerable and therefore you get hurt. A Mahatma who knows, the one who knows, who learns correctly, he never gets hurt. There is no hurt in life. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.